Good evening, everyone. This is Ronnie of IECEP Manila. As we celebrated last March 8, 2021, the International Women's Day, we at IECEP Manila, we would like to commemorate the cultural, political, and social achievement of these women. That's why our guest for tonight is a petite, pretty, young, fresh doctor, researcher, single. We will know that later. Our guest for tonight is Dr. Engineer Mary Ann C. Roa. Good evening, Mary. Good evening, May Ann, for short. Tama ba ako?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So maraming salamat sa pagtanggap ng aming imbitasyon. Actually, we planning na ikaw talaga para to fit in, sabihin natin medyo kakaiba yung topic natin, but it should be aligned to International Women's Day celebration. Since March also is International Women's Month, that's why kami nagpapasalamat kahit napaka-busy mo, nasa other side of the world ka, dyan sa Sweden, at napagbigyan mo kami dito sa interview na to. The purpose of our interview is to inspire, actually, especially young audiences, yung mga aspiring ECE natin, yung mga gusto magpunta sa abroad, like also in Sweden. Paano ba mapunta dyan sa field na yan, sa napuntahan mo? Paano ba maging doctor, engineer? Ano ba yung mga pinagdaanan mo? So, along the way, i-introduce ka namin unti-unti during our question interview for you. So, start na tayo.
Yes,
So, yung una-una kong tanong, actually, ito yung lagi kong tinatanong sa mga guests ko. Short story about your name. Kasi, Mary Ann is spelled as M-A, as Mary, Mama Mary, M-A-R-Y, and then your aunt is A-N-N-E. But your birthday, sa pagkakaalam ko, your birthday is October 2?
3, sir.
October 3. October. Na-delay ako ng October 3. So, hindi siya birthday ni Mama Mary, pero napangalan sa is Mary Ann. Ano bang kwento ng Mary Ann? Sa family nyo ba, dalawa rin yung words na ginagamit sa naming ng mga siblings mo?
My full name is Mary Ann, sir, and I have a twin sister named Mary Rose.
Rose, okay.
I think our parents was just looking for something that rhymes. And then Mary, maybe because I came from a family that is deeply Catholic.
So yung twin sister mo, ano ba talaga siya? Identical?
No, sir, fraternal. So we cannot be more different than each other. She's doing law, so it's very different field as well.
Medyo nagulat kami na meron kang twin sister. Parang bihira na nakakaalam na meron kang twin sister. So thank you for... so ilang kayo magkakapatid?
Kami lang po, sir.
So dalawa lang kayo. So si Mary Rose tsaka si Mary Ann. I would like to know also, saan ka ba nag-high school? So meron ka ba, ikaw ba ay laking probinsyana?
Yes, sir, you could say that. I'm from Subic, Zambales, Olongapo. It's a city, pero compared to Manila, you could say that it's a province because we didn't even have an SM at the time. And during our field trips, we would always drop by SM, and I thought to myself that it's so big and there's so many stores.
Alright. So yung life mo as probinsyana girl, so gagamitin ko yung term na probinsyana girl, ano yung big difference nung napunta ka sa Manila?
It was huge. I think it was intimidating in the beginning, and it's easy to get lost. But then it's also amazing in a sense that you can just go to SM during break. For me, it was like a dream.
So you spend mo, sabihin natin, before entering talaga sa college, first time mo na mapunta sa Manila bago ka mag-college?
Hindi naman po first time, sir. We sometimes go there during field trip and sometimes during Christmas, but I have never really stayed there on my own.
So growing up as, sabihin natin, a probinsyana girl also, siyempre lahat naman tayo merong pinapangarap na lugar na mabisita. Pag sinabi kasing Manila, iba yung tunog sa mga taga-probinsya pagka sinabing Manila. Ano ba yung gustong-gusto mong mapuntahan nung nasa probinsya ka na lugar dito sa Manila?
Yun, sir, when I was in high school, it was just a dream to study in Manila. I didn't know if I would be able to do it. So it felt like a dream.
So ano yung gustong-gusto talaga mapuntahan? Yung sabihin natin pinag-uusapan nyo nung high school pa lang kayo or elementary days.
Trinoma, sir.
Saan?
Trinoma po.
Trinoma? So sikat na yung Trinoma nung high school pa lang kayo?
Yes, sir, because SM is quite popular, but Trinoma I think is a little bit high-end mall. So that's for us, sir.
Alright. So gusto ko lang, na-curious lang ako. So nung napuntahan mo na ba ang Trinoma?
Yes, sir.
So yung napunta ka ng Trinoma, ano yung pakiramdam mo nun?
Ang ganda, sir.
Hindi naman bumagsak ang expectation mo, ito lang pala yung trinoma.
Hindi, sir. I was impressed. May fountain pa
Alright.
po sa rooftop.
Okay, so napakaganda naman pala ng experience mo. Before ako mag-enter ng ng ECE development natin. So before ka na nasa probinsya pa, so syempre meron tayong mga dream job as a little girl, eto ang pangarap mo. Siguro nung high school medyo namomold mo na 'yan. Ano ba yung pinapangarap mo maging, yung gustong-gusto mo talagang na maging?
I've always wanted to be a teacher, sir, and I think it's an inspiring profession, and I still do.
Sa pagtuturo talaga ang sabihin natin yung nasa puso mo na
Yes, sir.
okay.
Since I
So
was in elementary, I knew it.
okay. So ayan ang yung dream job. So teaching. So yung tanong ko, bakit ka naman napunta sa sabihin na profession or as being a BSECE student?
Yes, sir. So after high school, I got the DOST scholarship, and they have limited choices of courses. And among the engineering, I thought at the time ECE was the most palatable, like most fitting to a lady. So that's why I chose ECE, and yeah, I didn't regret choosing it. So I enjoyed it.
So wala ka lang ibang preferred course maliban sa ECE? Talagang ECE na directly?
Well, I didn't really have a prepared course, sir, because I thought even at a young age, I was 14 at the time. I kind of know that it doesn't really matter what course you take, as long as you give your best, that good things is gonna happen. So I didn't have like prepared courses. I just went with what is available.
Ba't naman TUP?
Oh, it's the same reason, sir. It's also the OST, because they have a few accredited universities, and TUP is one of them. And then I researched a little bit for engineering. TUP was really good. And is still really good. And then also that the OST will pay the full tuition, so I didn't need to add anything. So for me, I didn't really have a lot of demands or criteria. I just wanted to study, and it was just as simple as that. It's actually amazing that sometimes it's the smallest decisions that change your lives forever, because TUP really did that for me.
Thank you for that candidate number. No. Actually, napakaganda ng sinabi mo kasi kahit wala tayong option, but itong option na to, sabihin natin, yung napaka-ikli na option, but ito yung sabihin natin, magiging stepping stone natin kung nasaan man tayo ngayon. You tell me a while ago that you're from a province, di ba? Paano ka nabuhay? Paano ka tumagal? Iba yung buhay sa Manila eh. How do you spend your college life?
First of all, of course, the main focus was to maintain my scholarship, and also to help a little bit at home. And so my focus at the time was to really focus on my studies. It wasn't all easy, because ECE was difficult. But then I think it's actually fate. I always go to church, like sometimes every morning before going to school, or every evening before going home. I go to church, and I sometimes go with a few of my classmates. So I think it's really fate that hold me.
Nag-board ka ba nung college? Boarding house?
No, sir. I live with my mom and my sister. So my mom is really dedicated to us. So when we moved to Manila to study, she also moved.
So you moved? Dinala mo lahat ng kasama yung kapatid mo? So lumipat kayo?
Yes,
so
sir.
From okay. So napaka-laking decision yung ginawa sa'yo ng okay.
But my mom has always been really focused on our studies and giving us the best opportunity that she could within her means.
So napakalaki ng support na nagawa ng family mo. So, nung nag-aaral ka na ng college, so engineering or ECEs 5 years, ano ba yung pinaka-favorite subject mo nun? Nung nag-aaral ka?
It was definitely communication, sir. I was the team captain of the Quiz B, and my focus area there was comms. I remember the book that we had, Wayne Tomasi. I read it cover to cover and solve every problem and have notes in every topics about it. So I like comms, and not because I think it's a subject that you don't need to be smart. You just need to put in the effort, really read a lot, and to understand it.
Kasama yung analyzation na, definitely. So, nasabi mo kanina na quizzer ka, di ba? Kasi lahat naman ng magagaling na estudyante, nakikita naman yun sa examination, sa evaluation. So, meron tayong organization sa ECE, sa TUP. So, nagtatop sila. So, you mentioned a while ago na quizzer ka, di ba? So, gaano bang kahirap? Kasi sabi mo kanina, team captain pa. Gaano ba kahirap na iputong sa'yo yung pagiging team captain ng isang quizzer?
It was really difficult, sir, because when I joined the quiz team, suddenly it's not only just about me; it's about representing the school and working with my teammates, because we are competing as a team, and also we are working on behalf of our supervisor, of our coach, Sir Fernandez, who really works hard for us. So that was the pressure for me, that suddenly I'm not only working for myself, but there's a lot more into it. So I really committed into it. In the beginning, actually, during my freshman, I had a lot of extracurricular activities. I was writing for the school paper, Artisan, and I was also playing chess for the varsity. But then when I joined the quiz team, I gave everything up and really committed into the reviewing process, because I think it was a great opportunity. I was lucky to get that opportunity, and I tried to work hard to fulfill it.
So, lahat naman ng, sabihin natin, competition, kahit nasa beauty contest, hindi naman lahat na nanalo. So, ganun din naman sa Quiz B. So, naranasan nyo na ba? Have you ever lose in a competition?
Yes, sir. It's actually funny because it was the first competition that we lost. We prepared the entire summer, and then it turned out that we just lost it, and I was quite devastated. It was a bit embarrassing, especially to our coach, who worked really hard for us, and to all the professors and our classmates who have had some expectations, because the TUP was the defending champion at the time. So I was really sad about that. But I guess what I did is to study even more, review even more, read even more. And so I think that really made the difference, because when you put in the time and effort, then you really grow into it. So I think I actually wouldn't credit intelligence into winning the quiz bees, because after the first quiz bee, we won all the other competitions after that. But I wouldn't say that it's about intelligence, because apparently it's not. It's more about the time and effort that you put into it. So as long as you work hard, honestly, I wasn't really exceptionally smart. I just got that opportunity, and I work hard for it. So I think when you work hard, your work hard will not betray you. And also faith. Before every competition, I would always go to Quiapo, St. Jude, and St. Clair, combo yun, sir. And then
parehas tayo.
Diba, sir? And then after every competition, I always go back and say my gratitude. So correct. Really, when you pray, also God works with you.
Actually, yung attitude kasi pagka nawala talaga, kahit naman sabihin natin napakatalino mo, pero the way you handle a certain thing, especially na hindi naman lahat talaga laging nananalo. The way you handle is yung attitude pa rin ang pinakamaganda. Kasi nadapa tayo, but we need to rise up again. So the way you handle that event, sabihin natin yung hindi maganda, you're able to manage it correctly and perfectly. Kasi yung sa mga sumunod, naging stepping stone nyo yun eh. So alam mo na, pinalakas kayo actually, pinalakas kayo dahil sa pagkakatalo na yun, but you rise up again. Kanina, nagtatanong ako sa'yo, ECE nga, di ba? Tapos, syempre, may board exam yan. Bago naman lahat, yung iba kasi akala nila pagka engineer na, ang natapos mo, engineer ka na, but there's also a board exam. So nung pagka-graduate mo, so nagre-review ka lang ba or meron ka pa bang sinasabay sa pagre-review mo?
Right after graduating bachelor's po, I went immediately to start my master's. So I was doing master's and reviewing for the board exam at the same time in parallel.
Okay. Ikat ko muna, dun sa master's mo, so you got a scholarship again for master's degree?
Yes, sir.
Anong scholarship dito?
I did my master's in Ateneo de Manila University, and the scholarship was from ERDT.
So later on, i-discuss natin unti-unti yung ERDT na yan. So habang pagka-graduate mo, nagre-review ka for the board exam, at the same time nag-aaral ka for the master's degree. So normally naman ang review will take 5 to 6 months, di ba?
Yes,
so kasabay ng isang semester ito ng masters mo?
Yes, sir. The first semester.
Okay. How do you manage the time? Actually, hindi naman kasi ganun kadali. Bakit? Kasi you graduated as a cum laude. So, pag sinabi kasi nating honor student yan, especially sa college, merong kalakip norms na yun actually. Pagka sinabi nating graduate ng cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, ano na to, mga board top-notcher. So, nung nagre-review ka, meron ka bang ini-aim? Kasi na-pressure ka. Sabihin natin sa mga professor mo, kasama na rin yung yung ating colleagues, yung mga kaibigan mo na graduate ka with honors. So na-pressure ka ba habang nagre-review na kailangan mag-top ka sa board exam?
I wouldn't say I was pressured, but I was motivated to do my best because I wanted to give back to TUP and make them proud, and also to my review center, Smart Edge, and that also really helped me. So I wanted to hopefully be able to top the board exam. Of course, I think everyone naman has different circumstances, and for me, I cannot give 100% of my time to the review because, of course, Masteral in Ateneo is also demanding. But also, if you come to think about it, other people also have to work maybe, and they also have their own challenges. But maybe, of course, there are people that has everything in a silver plate, that they can go to the best review center and maybe live nearby the review center and really focus on the review. But I think I try not to focus on the things that I do not have, and instead use my shortcomings as motivation to even work harder. So even if Ateneo Masteral at the time was demanding, I try to focus on the things that I can control, and that is my time and my mindset. So during the review, I'm actually not exaggerating when I say that the only time I wasn't reviewing is when I'm sleeping. I'm really reviewing all the time. Like I read every book I can put my hands into, solve problems, thousands of it, and yeah, really, of course, pray. I pray the rosary every day.
Siya nga pala sa ating mga viewers, sa mga followers ng IECEP ng Kapihan sa IECEP Manila. Si Dr. Engineer Roa, top 2 siya sa ECT. ECT to ECT board exam. So kinuha niya to bago siya mag-graduate. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Kinuha mo to nung 4th year o 5th year ka? 4th year. So, naging top-notcher siya, top 2 sa ECT board exam. At the same time, after graduation, nag-review for the board, naging top 7 siya sa ECE board exam. 2013 ito. So, medyo konting feedback lang. Noong 2013, may tolerance yun eh. Kahit pababa pa ng 2013, 2012, 2010, ito yung board exam na bihirang-bihira lang or napakababa ng passing percentage. Tama ba?
Because we had a different examiner at the time, sir.
Yeah, napakabigat actually ng pressure. Parang some of the university wasn't able to actually pass the national board exam mark kasi ito yung time na napakahirap actually pumasa ng board exam. But she passed it with flying colors as top 7 ng ECE board exam. So nagma-masters pa yan. Talaga yung time management ni Dr. Engineer Roa nagawa niya. Kasi hindi lang naman yun aral, review, may family at sabihin natin may mga side trip siya, hindi naman lahat ng buhay natin nakafocus sa pag-aaral. So later on, i-discuss natin unti-unti yung kanyang scholarship sa ERDT.
Maybe so, I could say there, sir, that being the top-notcher in the board exam, I don't think you have to be really smart or you have to go to the best review center. I think it's more about you have to be more disciplined.
Yeah. Nasa sa'yo yan eh. Kasi kung wala ka rin disiplina, wala rin. So, nasa tao actually yun eh. So, yung tanong ko kanina, bakit mo naisip na mag-pursue ng higher education? Which is, nag-start ka sa master's degree.
When I look back, what I see about myself is when I finish one goal, after I finish one goal, I already have the next goal in my mind, and then that's what happened. After I finished my bachelor's, I was already preparing to pursue masters. And I think at the same time, again, it was still fate because, for instance, I still remember when my beloved advisor, dearest Ma'am Arsol, called me and informed me about the opportunity to go to Germany. And I was really scared because I was only 20. I had never been abroad. I didn't know anyone there. But then I went to Manawag in Tagaytay, Puster. And then there you actually when you went in, you can get Bible quotes from in the entrance. And I actually keep it until now.
Okay.
It's this one. It says, do not be afraid any longer little flock, your father is pleased to give you the kingdom. I cannot show it. But then when I read that, I just told myself that God has plans for me, and I should just have faith and not be scared. So I think that was the motivation, sir.
So nasabi mo na nakakuha ka ng master's degree, ng master's opportunity under ng ERDT. But since Ateneo has a link, actually, as for internship, na-mention mo nga, nagpunta ka ng Germany, which is in Munich, tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Munich in Germany. How many months did you stay there?
6 months po, sir. 1 semester.
Okay. So while living there sa Germany, so nag-ship muna ako ng konti ng lugar sa Germany. Ano yung pinakamahirap? Unang-una kasi normally pagka napunta tayo sa ibang bansa, meron tayong mga few months, few days na funny experiences. So nasa Germany ka no mga few days mo, ano yung medyo unforgettable funny experience mo sa Germany?
I don't think it's exceptionally funny, but then when I went there in the beginning, I thought everything was so expensive. So I was just eating egg and sandwich.
Okay.
I just cannot put myself into sitting in a restaurant and eat because everything was so expensive for me, sir, when I convert.
So lahat na ba ng recipe ng itlog, nilagang itlog?
Yes, sir.
Pritong itlog, scrambled egg na gawa. Normally ganun naman talaga. Even din naman ako para mag-survive tayo sa ibang bansa. Kasi nga iba yung cost of living. Nandoon naman tayo actually to grab the opportunity for internship. Ano yung pinaka-favorite na spot mo or lugar dun sa Germany? Kasi sabihin natin nakagala ka naman for that 6 months, di ba?
I guess it's a place called Marienplatz. It's like their old town. I think it's really beautiful there. It's like it's not something I have ever seen in the Philippines, and I just like to go there. And it's also their shopping area, like the high-end fashion. Like you have there the Chanel, LV, but then I just like going there and see and looking around and seeing how people live. So I would normally go to a cafe, sit and just have a coffee. And I think it's a good time to reflect and really immerse yourself into how they normally live and see the differences. And also sometimes I wish that I hope that the Philippines could also be this good. And yeah, I think it's just wonderful experience, sir.
Okay.
It's eye-opening.
Yung isang tanong ko bago natin i-close yung chapter mo sa Germany, kasi number 1, meron naman talagang ganitong sabihin natin norms. Babae ka, so napakahirap mabuhay as a lady, sabihin natin. So sabi ko kanina sa introduction ko, petite. So everyone definitely pagkakita pa lang sa'yo, they will definitely ask your age. So na-experience mo ba, tatalungin ko, na-experience mo ba ng sabihin natin konting discrimination dun sa Germany?
About my age, no, I wouldn't say I had experienced discrimination anywhere actually in the world. I think it's about perspective. If you think to yourself that whatever not good things that happen is because about it's about your race or about discrimination, then you would always you would definitely find something and think to yourself that I was discriminated. But I don't think that's a healthy mindset. So I don't really think na okay, they were a bit rude to me. Oh, it was discrimination. I would probably just think, oh, maybe they're having a bad day. And many other people are nice, so I don't think so.
So napakaganda the way you handle the negative, sabihin natin, negative comments, sabihin natin, or negative experience. So nagawin mo pa rin positive, napakaganda mong nai-handle itong situation mo dyan sa Germany. Okay, i-close muna natin yung chapter natin sa Germany. So ayan na nga, pumasa ka ng board, natapos mo na tong master. Paano ka naman nakapag-decide? So sabi mo kanina na binivision mo na after ng isang step, talagang gusto mo na mag-PhD ulit. So nag-PhD ka. So could you tell us, so from master's degree, how did you decided? Talagang, kasi pag sinabing PhD, medyo mabigat na yung, sabihin natin medyo napakabigat na ng degree na to for everyone to have this. How do you able to manage or to grab another opportunity for PhD scholarship?
I applied for it, sir, and honestly, before I did the PhD, I didn't know how difficult it could be. I didn't know what I was going myself into. And if back in time, I probably wouldn't do it again. Hardest point in my life, sir.
But actually, you successfully finish it.
Yes, sir. But then maybe people just when people look at somebody, they just look at the successes. But behind that
Correct.
it was really tough and it was really difficult.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I remember crying at some nights, sir, because I just didn't know what to do anymore and my brain cells was used up.
Or, ito yung isa sa mga nakita ko na post mo eh. So pagka nag-aaral ka ng PhD, normally may mga requirements ito. So one of the requirements, alam ko kasi napagdaanan ko rin naman yan, is international conference. So we need to present our paper, our research. So kailangan natin yan. I saw in one of your posts actually, nung nag-present ka sa isang bansa na to, definitely the crowd, nagkaroon sila ng, nagulat sila doon sa magpe-present. And then I saw in your post that the first question that the crowd or the panel was given to you is, they ask you, young girl or little girl, what is your age? Tama ba yung aking, they tell a story about that?
Yes, sir. That was in Korea, and I remember we even met there, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so after the presentation, I was prepared for the questions, and then the first question I got was that, young girl, how old are you? And then I was just a little bit caught off guard, but then they were just really curious. They didn't mean anything untoward over
Negative.
that. Genuinely curious, and it was just an amazing experience. Until now, I still sometimes get asked how old I am. Maybe because I'm really small, sir.
Hindi naman ganun ka-small. Kaya ang introduction ko is petit actually. Mas maganda gamitin yung petit kaysa sa small. So after, sinagot mo naman yung age mo nung nag-ask nung
yes,
panel.
Yes, sir. I was 22.
And then they are surprised this young lady, this young doctor. So kasi nakita ko yun sa isa sa mga social network site mo nung pinost mo yun. I think a few years ago. Alright. So napakaganda ng ano yun. Sabihin natin, actually it's quite overwhelming and hindi naman actually we're being judged by our age, but maganda yung recognition na binigay sa'yo kasi napakabata mo pang tingnan actually. Alright. So, and then after mo mag-PhD, actually while having your PhD, there's another offer for internship in Sweden. So nung nag-aral ka ng PhD na sa Ateneo, so under ERDT ulit ito, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's another offer for internship sa ibang bansa. So which is Sweden kung nasaan ka ngayon. So how many months again did you stay in Sweden for this internship?
So that was for a year, sir. It was for the entire PhD dissertation. So it was indefinite as soon as you finish the dissertation, but hopefully for a year.
So you spent almost 1 year in Sweden. Germany, Sweden, and Philippines are 3 different countries, di ba? How do you manage the culture differences?
Yeah, I guess it was a culture shock when I went to Europe the first time, because coming in from Ateneo and having topped the board exam, I wanted to show them to make our country proud and to show them that we can also do good things. But then of course there are things that are different. For instance, there are equipments here and technologies here that are just a norm, and we didn't even have it even in the best university in the Philippines. And also the way of thinking is quite different. In here there's more focus on ownership and liberty. You don't really have to attend courses. It's more about you can do whatever you want, but it's also your sole responsibility to make sure that you figure out how things work. So I think that that's a little bit of difference.
So, but you're able to manage everything.
Yes, I think, sir. I wouldn't say that it was smooth sailing all along. I think it's more about learning a little bit every day, and at some point you realize that you have gotten used to it. So for instance, when I here in Stockholm, at some point I was studying the language, and it was really difficult. It was demotivating because it feels that you're not moving forward, because learning a language is a lot different than learning something in school. But then you just don't give up. You persevere through it, and then at some point I noticed that I can start to communicate, and now I can attend meetings and write emails and read everything in Swedish. So I think it's a slow step-by-step process, but it's a lot about not giving up.
So actually nandoon yung fun. Kasi sabi natin may mga mistakes tayo, may pagkakamali, pero once na nandoon yung fun, nawawala na yung mga bagay na pinoproblema natin eh. So along the way, habang pinag-aaral natin ang isang bagay, may kasama pa ring fun. Actually, itong fun na to, yung mag-lift or mag-boost ng spirit natin actually to survive. So right now you are working in Stockholm, Sweden. So number one, ano ba yung, bago tayo magpunta sa medyo last part, ano ba yung unang napakahirap na na-encounter mo while working with a different colleagues? So ibang culture ng colleagues eh. While working with different colleagues, different environment. Pag sinabi natin different environment, so nakapagturo ka sa Pilipinas, nakapagtrabaho ka sa Pilipinas. So iba yung culture nila. Pag sinabi natin culture, which is the working culture, iba rin yung environment nila. Maybe some of them, they mind their own business. Iba kasi yung atmosphere sa Philippines eh. Ano yung number one na natutunan mo while working with them, especially here in Stockholm, Sweden? And paano mo na-manage yung different practices?
I think first of all, when you go out there, do not expect that you're gonna meet people the same as you. There's always gonna be differences, and I think you have to learn to adapt and try to put yourself in their perspective. But overall, from my experience, people are really generally kind. So for anyone who is contemplating to go abroad to study or to pursue anything outside the Philippines, I think do not be afraid, because most people that you are gonna meet are good-natured and they're just like you, curious and willing to help when you need it. So I think just don't be scared and try to be open-minded.
So sabi mo kanina sa akin, bawat step mo kailangan nire-ready mo na yung sarili mo at bine-vision mo na yung mga next na gagawin mo. So ano ba ang susunod para kay Dr. Engineer Roa?
I like a quote from Bill Gates. He said once that I like him as a person and as an entrepreneur. I think one of the things that he said is that people underestimates the things that they can do overestimates the things that they can do in 1 year, and people tends to underestimates what they can do in 10 years. And I think that's a very beautiful quote. So for me, I think in the short term, I would focus on my current work, focus on my current goals, and then also try to do my best in the other endeavors that interest me. And then hopefully in the long run, I would be able to do something that is gonna benefit the world in a good way.
Alright, so napakaganda. Pwede mo muna ba kaming makahingi ng inspirational message before we wrap up for shout out and fast talk? So any inspirational message, especially i-fit in natin. Kasi ayoko namang maging bias, no? But gusto ko i-fit in kasi sa International Women's Day. So could you give inspirational message to young women who are definitely who are inspired na paano ba mapunta sa position mo right now, as yan, sabihin natin na punta ka nga sa ibang bansa, you are actually having your successful part of your life, little by little you are earning it. So could you give inspirational message to sa ating maganda sana dalawa, sa ating young future girl na engineer at the same time in general?
I think for the girls, for the young ladies, I think it's really about the mindset. Do not think that just because you're female you are in some way disadvantaged. I think the world has changed very, very much so that it doesn't really matter if you're a guy or a girl, even in engineering field, in whatever field you find yourself into. So I think do not focus about being a lady and think that is something that is a disadvantage for you. I think focus on working hard and tell yourself that you can be whatever you want, and it doesn't matter if you're a lady.
In general, sa ating mga future engineers,
I think I have 3 things that I'd like to share. The first thing is hard work. I think intelligence is overrated. What makes a difference between success and a mediocre result is the amount of effort you put into it. So I think remember that your hard work will never betray you. So hold on to that. I think do your best in whatever you do, in wherever you are, and surely good things are gonna follow.
Wow, napakaganda ng iyong shinare. Maraming salamat sa pagpapa-unlock sa amin itong sumingit kami actually sa oras mo. So iba yung oras natin sa Philippines at the same time dyan sa Sweden. So kami lubusan nagpapasalamat at the same time. So yung pagkakashare mo ng story mo. So from your being a probinsyana dun sa isang lugar, then you move to Manila, and then you travel actually from Germany, and then right now you are in Sweden. So maraming salamat. So lalong-lalong na ako yung nagpapasalamat sa pagpapa-unlock ng interview na to. So bago tayo magpasok, baka may gusto kang batiin, i-shout out na nasa Philippines na manonood nitong ating interview.
Maybe I'd like to say hi to my advisor from Ateneo, Ma'am Arsol. I owe her a lot, and thank you so much for everything that you have done for me. And also maybe my coach when I was in TUP, Sir Fernandez, and also all the other professors in TUP that are really hardworking and dedicates their lives to the new generations. Sir Fernandez, Sir Arago, Sir Horda, and everyone's, of course you as well, Sir Ronnie. Yes, and maybe as well the review center that I have reviewed when I was in the Philippines, Smart Edge.
What about your twin sister and your mom actually, and your dad?
My sister's very busy because she's preparing for the bar, so I'm not sure she'll be able to watch this. But then if ever she's gonna watch it, I want to say that I'm proud of her. I look up to her when things are difficult, especially when I was doing the PhD. I just look at her and think to myself, but she's doing law and she's working full time. If she can do it, I should also strive to do it. So you are an inspiration to me, and continue to do what you do.
Thank you so much, Mayan. So, meron akong mga few fast talk question. Okay. Unang-una, indoor or outdoor person ka ba?
Both, sir. Outdoor, I like to bike, and then indoors, I like to read books and I like to bake.
Okay, pag napapunta tayo sa ibang bansa, we collected things eh. So, ano ba yung na hindi natin namamalaya na kinokollect mo?
I actually don't collect anything, sir. I don't like to.
Totally wala.
But books, maybe I like to read books, but it's just because I'm interested in the topic, so I buy it. Not because I wanted to collect books.
So napunta ka sa Europe kasi Germany, then Sweden. Have you ever tried to test or to drink a wine or sabihin natin any spirited beverage?
Hindi na pwede manood yung mama ko nito.
Which is normal actually, lalo na pag nasa Europe. So have you tried?
Yes, sir. In Germany, they drink beer even in school, so it was just normal.
So any in particular favorite brand?
I like Hoegaarden. It's Belgian, I think.
Okay. So again, dyan pa rin sa Europe side. So mahilig sila sa cheese. So ano yung favorite cheese mo?
Naku, sir, Eden pa rin po.
So sa batang Pilipinas talaga, Eden. Nakabili ka, meron bang Eden dyan na nabibili?
Meron, sir, sa Asian store.
Alright. So batang Eden pa rin talaga.
Mm-hmm.
So among the three, actually isama na natin yung mga na puntahan mo pang lugar. So sabi mo kanina a while ago you presented a paper in Korea. So sa mga napuntahan mong bansa worldwide, ano yung top 3 na paborito mo?
That's hard. I think I always go back to Germany. I think it's the first country I have been to, and I think I just somehow left a part of my heart there, and I would always come back. So I sometimes go there when I had breaks and I had the opportunity to. So I think it's always gonna have a place in my heart, Germany. And then of course Manila, because I grew up there, and I love our country, and and my family is there, of course, but not only that, even if they're not there, and sometimes it just happens that after a while you miss the place. You just miss Manila. Sometimes when I'm in the mall here in Sweden, I just suddenly feel a little bit sad and miss the times that I was in SM and Trinoma.
And last one.
And then maybe last one, I think Prague. It was beautiful. It was like straight out from a fairy tale.
So Europe is a 4-season country, right? So you have autumn, winter, spring, and summer. Among the four, ano yung pinaka-paborito mo?
I actually like all the seasons there because you can do different things in different seasons. For instance, during winter I have learned how to ski because
Alright.
if you live in Sweden, you just have to.
Okay.
And then during the summer I like to do outdoor biking and hiking. So I think there's different things you can do every season, and I think that what makes it worthwhile to wait.
Alright. So, thank you so much, Mayan, sa interview na to, lalo na sa ating napaka-informal na fast talk. So, ako'y lubusan nagpapasalamat sa iyo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for watching our 4th episode. I would like to actually to thank personally to Dr. Engineer Mary Ann C. Roa because she was my former student. As you can see in our interview, gender and also height, races, or sabihin natin kung saan tayo lumaki is not a hindrance to fulfill our dreams. Because if you have this, sabi nga niya yung kanina, pinapursue niya na agad yung step na gagawin niya. So, hindi naging hadlang yung pagiging babae niya. I don't want to use the word small, but sa pagiging pitit niya, hindi naging hadlang yon. Sa pagiging Pilipina niya, hindi naging hadlang yon to pursue her dreams. So we hope that especially our young future engineers, especially the women out, maging inspirasyon sana si Dr. Engineer Mary Ann C. Roa in this our 4th episode in Kapihan sa IECEP Manila. Thank you very much. In our 5th episode, kinagurian siyang Superman ng IECEP. So, aalamin natin bakit nga ba siya tinawag na Superman at sino ba na ang tumawag sa kanya na una-una Superman ng IECEP at ginamit na actually most of the colleagues and members and even friends related to IECEP, tinawag siyang Superman. So, aalamin natin yan sa ating 5th episode. So, thank you very much once again for watching our Kapihan sa IECEP Manila. So, maraming salamat po.